Good evening. Tonight's story is called The Babysitter. You know, I don't think taking care of a baby is any great chore at all, if you are properly prepared. I bring my comforts with me. A portable radio, a few books, a hot lunch, a cold drink, a heavy mallet, and if that fails, earplugs. Good heavens, I forgot the baby. Stay right where you are. I'll be back.
Doomed to a violent end, that Clara Nash was. I'm telling you, Sergeant, doomed to a violent end.
I know, Mrs. Slocum. You told me 3 times already. And I'm trying to find out, with your help, who murdered her.
Oh, the horror of it all. And that wonderful Mr. Nash. And that poor little boy, whatever's going to become of him now.
Please, Mom, try to control yourself.
And to think that I was practically the last one to see her alive. Me.
Mrs. Slocum, if you could just give me a few minutes of your valuable time, I think...
My valuable time. Well, thank you very much, Sergeant. You hear that, Janie? The sergeant wants a few minutes of my valuable time. Just goes to show how a person's whole life can be changed just by somebody getting murdered. First, there was the flowers from the Women's Club with a very kind note of sympathy, plus an invitation to tell about my experiences on the fatal night. And now the sergeant wants a few minutes of my valuable time. Well, let's face it, Janie, how much was my valuable time worth yesterday? 85 cents an hour, plus car fare. I was just a plain, simple babysitter. Ah. But look at me now.
Mom, lie down for a while. The sergeant will come back later.
I just remembered something.
That's more like it, Mrs. Slocum.
I sent my black taffeta to the cleaners, and it's never going to be back in time for that meeting of the Women's Club. Oh.
I'll be back.
Oh, really, Sergeant? My mother's a wonderful woman. She just suffers from overact.
That's the understatement of the year.
Mercy. Oh, you must be that detective. Say, I've got a few ideas about that murder.
I'll bet you have.
Well, where's your mother, honey?
Shh, Mrs. Armstead, take it easy. She's really had a rough day.
Oh, there you are, Lottie. Boy, do you look a mess. Well, come on, honey. Refreshments. We got a lot of talking to do. Now. Oh, I'll move over. Isn't this exciting? Look at that. Babysitter questioned in murder. It's in every paper. Your name, your picture, everything. Gee, it makes a person afraid to go out on a job. You know, I was supposed to sit for the Thompsons tonight, but now, I bet you never want to babysit again. Oh, you'd always be imagining a killer was sneaking around or something. Oh, come on, Lottie. I bet you're just dying to tell me all about it, huh?
Move over, will you?
Well, if that's your attitude. It's cherry chocolate with tutti frutti.
Oh.
Well, there. Come on now, tell me, what was she really like?
It's a long, long story, Blanche.
Well, don't worry, I got refills. Well, go on.
You know how I've often said that sometimes a pretty face will do you more harm than good. Well, that Clara Nash was doomed to a violent end. Way she was carrying on, she deserved what she got.
Oh, shame on you, Lottie. Go on.
You know how particular I am about who I sit for. Yeah, well, I never would have sat for her. except I had a soft spot in my heart for the boy and that wonderful Mr. Nash. What a gentleman he was. And the way she treated him, he deserved something better. Did you see the flowers the women's club sent?
Oh! Potted plant would be less trouble.
The way she's been carrying on. Since the separation, not even divorced, mind you. Running around with lounge lizards like that Mr. DeMario. He was the one that took her out last night, before she was killed.
Listen. Do you think that DeMario did it?
Who knows? Gives me the creeps. He's the slippery type, you know?
Well, why not him? Listen, he brings her home, see? They've been drinking, maybe. Then she asks him to drive you home to get rid of him. But he fools her. He comes back.
Did act kind of peculiar in the car coming home. Never opened his mouth once except to say goodnight. It was kind of funny, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, as I say, anybody could have done it.
They say when they found her strangled.
I don't even want to think about that. She was never any good. Even right from the beginning, when I first started sitting for the Nashes. Long before they were separated. I remember one night, they were supposed to go to his boss's house for dinner. So, I got there at 7 o'clock, like I was supposed to. Mrs. Nash was picking on Mr. Nash something awful. It wasn't as if I was snooping or anything. She must have known I was standing there, but that didn't stop her. Not for 1 minute. Yakety, yakety, yak. Mad as a wet hen she was. Poor Mr. Nash, you could see he was suffering, but didn't have a chance with Big Mouth. And what was she blowing her top about this time? Well, I'll tell you, because she didn't want to go to the boss's house for dinner, just because Mr. Nash asked her to change her dress. You should have seen her decked out like a showgirl or something. But she refused to get into something respectable. She'd rather go out someplace fancy the way she was than keep her husband on good terms with his boss.